I think TJ should get whatever the heck he wants. He's arguably the best football player in the game right now, not just on defense, just in general. I've been through a few negotiations here with contracts. One of the reasons I took less money was for guys like him to get paid, and he needs to get paid. He deserves every penny that he wants and asks for. And so, TJ Watt is that guy that should get whatever he wants.
At one point I predicted that by the time we get to November, the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger will both regret getting back together for one more year. I think the Steelers officially have reached the point of regret. Ben, what are you doing? But that's a strong statement from Ben Roethlisberger. I took less money so guys like this could get paid, and he did. He took $5 million. Gone. Think about that. $5 million gone to come back this year to help the Steelers manage their cap. And the good news is Watt practiced yesterday, but there's still no deal in place for the Steelers and TJ Watt. And we continue to wait. And you know the rule in Pittsburgh, no negotiation once the season starts. They got 3 days left to get it done, Chris.
Yeah, those rules, as we talked about twice already this week, they got to throw them out the window and evolve with the times. It's cool, and I know, the Rooneys are one of the great, godfathers of the NFL, and certainly I respect them. But, they've evolved in a lot of other ways. They're not still playing the same defensive scheme they were playing in the 60s. They got into the Blitzburg back, in the late 80s and 90s. They're
playing the same defense they were playing in the 80s. That's a slight difference.
Evolve, though. That's still crazy to me that we're talking about this. Well, the point I was trying to say there.
I know what you mean.
But yeah, and you know what? I really respect Ben for saying that. I do. First off, the player's in a tough spot when those questions are answered. Yeah, you don't want to burn the franchise, but you simply don't want to burn the guys in the locker room. And a guy like TJ Watt, where, like he said at the end of that, he's that dude. Everybody in the locker room knows TJ Watt's the best player on that football team, or certainly one of the two best. I mean, they know it. And, that goes a long way through an organization, too. You've talked about this before. When you got a guy who fits the mold of the organization, fits the scheme, and then does all the things off the field, and then on the field he's a force to be reckoned with, you got to take care of those guys when you're an organization. And right now, the Steelers don't have necessarily the best reputation in that department. Going back to Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown, and guys in the locker room notice those type of things. So that's where, I respect Ben, and Pittsburgh's got to find a way to get this done to just squash all this talk about it.
And for a guy who started his career not being all that popular in the locker room, it took Ben a long time before he got enough votes to even be a team captain. This is the kind of thing that your teammates will love, and TJ Watt will love it. Ben is out there on the front line saying to Mr. Rooney through the media, pay this guy. What are you doing? Not just pay him, but, dude, we had the conversation. I'm giving up money so we can pay the guys who deserve it, and TJ Watt deserves it. And Rich Eisen was banging the drum again yesterday that you and I have mentioned, to the extent that the Steelers are concerned about the precedent they're setting here. The next time a guy walks in and says, but you did it for TJ Watt, the response is, you're not TJ Watt. Play like TJ Watt, and we'll do it for you.
Exactly. That's what it is. I mean, that's what talks in football, especially in the NFL world. I mean, the play on the field, the money you're making, in your pocket, that has great, a very high standard in the NFL locker room. I mean, that is the guy. That's how everybody's judged by. And, yes, that's got to go by the wayside. To think you're going to treat every player the same way, not even the players in the locker room expect that. None of them do. New England is the closest we've seen to that, and that still wasn't like that all the way. Brady and Gronk and the stars there, they got away with more than, the guy who was the 45th man on the roster. Maybe not as much as maybe other organizations, but that's just standard protocol in any business around the world. Oh, this guy's the guy that's our moneymaker. He's the best at it. Yeah, the rules get changed a little bit for those type of people. And that's where it's they got to get out of the Stone Age with that a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it done between now and Sunday when, according to one of their rules, they no longer do contracts. And, Chris, I can't help but wonder whether at some level they're influenced by that revolving door that we saw And we've seen in the years of free agency where they let those great pass rushers go. They let Bud Dupree go, and they reload with somebody else. But at some point, one of those guys is so good that you can't let him go.
Right.
And T.J. Watt, in my mind, falls into that category.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.